Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Conelanders here, and welcome back to Assetto Corsa, your driving simulator. I come to you today in Assetto Corsa because I have a mission for Assetto Corsa. I want it to be something. I have long talked about how the AI and overall career mode in Assetto Corsa have been very much so lacking. However, it is still, to this day, one of my favorite driving simulators. I think it is just one of the most fun, rewarding, basic driving sims out there at the moment. Unfortunately, there's just not a whole lot of point to it, and that's why I just haven't done many videos on it. I gave up on the career mode; it just wasn't enjoyable. So I want Assetto Corsa to return, and I think we now have a purpose for it. There was a recent update, and that update is to get the game ready for it to be a console release. In order for it to be a console release, I guess they thought they needed some fictional tracks in there. Overall, still one of my biggest complaints is lack of tracks. I'm missing one official track, and that's Brands Hatch, because I don't have one of the DLCs, which I think is ridiculous that the tracks were in DLCs to begin with when you have this few. But that's okay. That's alright. We'll get over that. So let's check out this fictional track. Fictional tracks are something that are very near and dear to my heart, as I spent a lot of time making fictional but realistic tracks for NASCAR 2003. So let's check out what the guys at Kunos have created here with Black Cat County. There are two new cars, the Ford Mustang, the current Ford Mustang, and sadly it's not a GT500, GT350 or whatever it is. It's just a regular one. I don't think there's any... Yeah, I don't think there's any other stages of that. And there is also the new... No, that's not what I wanted. The good news is I can record this menu now. Now that I'm using Shadowplay, it actually records the menu, and I don't have to splice a bunch of recordings together, so that's nice. Here it is. And the regular C7 Stingray and the C7R. So I am going to choose... I think I'll choose the Ford for now. That's a little bit slower, and I might be able to handle it. We'll go on the big long version of Black Cat County, and we'll check out, there is a new tire model and stuff like that to check out as well. But overall, I just want to talk about what our new goals for Assetto Corsa are. There's also some other new things I want to check out, and there are apps. Let's see if I can get that mouse over here. Hey mouse, wake up. There you go. Nope, wake up mouse. You can do this, I believe in you. There we go, and continue to go up. Continue to go up. You can do this. There is one of them. There is a tire app that will show you... This is similar to what Live for Speed used to have, or still has, I guess. It shows you temp, shows you... I think those are brake temps or something like that. I don't know yet. We'll see. And it shows you the outside, middle, inside. That's a cool thing. That's nice to have. Good to have some information on the tires. And despite how poor it is, look at the track map up there, because I don't know this place. We'll see what it's like. But I guess that'll give me somewhat of an idea of what we're getting into. So this is a new Ford Mustang, huh? I sat in one pretty recently. That's about as much of an experience I got out of it. But I will say this: the interior quality was much nicer than any Mustang I had previously been in. The overall car quality seemed about the same as far as like build quality stuff, but that's, I guess, to be expected. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be much quieter, judging by the idle, but no, it gets up there, it makes some noise. And this is what you do in a Mustang, I think, judging by what I've seen on the internet. You do a out-of-control burnout as soon as you take off anywhere. Wow, that's quite loud. Turn that down a little. Hear myself think. Alrighty, so we are taking off down the road here in our Mustang. It is, I just had to install it. I have not played Assetto Corsa at all since the Great Computer Apocalypse, and I think it was even a while before that. Hello, understeer. I guess that's to be expected here. In a Mustang. So yeah, it's taking a little bit of getting reacquainted to how things are. Which is almost a good thing, because it gives me almost a brand new first impression of the game and the way the physics work and everything. Instantly, it feels very familiar. The force feedback, again, now that I'm back to it, it makes me realize how good the force feedback is in iRacing, and it's always done that. It's not the worst. It's certainly better than like a Codemasters game. It's what's going on here? Oh, a little jump. Nice. I think the car bottomed out. You can feel the car's weight a lot. This being a regular Mustang, not tracked out or anything, it certainly gets a lot of weight shift on it. One thing I have always noticed with this engine is that, yeah, you get, like, in the first... Wow, this is a weird, rough road here. In the first, like, initial turn-in, there's a lot of wandering in the car. Yeah, in that range, it seems very, very squishy. All of the cars feel that way. I guess that's just part of how they're represented. Oh, I lied there. Just power out of it. Alright, let's look at this tire thing. It looks like our tires are coming up to temp, so I guess that is, well, we'll see. Just trying to put some pressure on those rears, but it looks like, yeah, the fronts are coming up to temp more, as you would expect, high speed in a heavy car. Oh, dear. Yep, Mustanged it up. Mustanged it up, understeer right into the wall. Okay, so, enough basically of talking about the game. You guys have heard me talk about this game a lot over the years, unless you're new around here. If that's the case, then just go back and look at the other 60 Assetto Corsa videos that I've done where I basically do the same thing. That's a tricky little spot there. So, Assetto Corsa, what's the plan? Well, you probably deciphered it from the title, but the plan as of right now is to start an Assetto Corsa online racing league, and that league will consist of existing Conelanders members. So, Conelanders, if you aren't aware, is the league that I started for Dirt Rally, which is a how do you word it? PvP. I worded it wheel to wheel, and some people didn't understand what that meant, so I guess that's not a term that everybody's familiar with. But that is, you know, it's a traditional rally environment, so you're going out about it on your own. So there's no direct competition. This, what I'm trying to start now, would be the first wheel-to-wheel league that I've tried to put together. It is somewhat of a large undertaking. I used to compete in a lot of leagues in the NASCAR 2003 days, and I remember dearly how much work and how much managing things like that need. It's actually a pretty fun little car, I'm not gonna lie. Well, not much little about it. Around these hairpins, it certainly feels its size. But the kind of by accident, kind of intentionally, the group that we've gotten together for that league for Conelanders has been awesome. Lots of people really wanting to be supportive of it and just helping out even when not asked and stuff like that. So it's encouraged me to try and undertake this. So for the better part of 2 years now, ever since I basically first started doing the iRacing Let's Plays, this has been a dream of mine. Getting together a league of quote-unquote YouTubers or Let's Players or just content creators, not necessarily people that do the commentated races. That's its own little niche that not many people do or enjoy doing that kind of content. However, I just think it would be really cool to have a racing series where you could watch nearly everybody or everybody's perspectives from a first-person point of view, and then pick up different people's commentaries and whatnot in between that, if they do that or not. And it would just be really cool to have a group of people that are comfortable racing each other together, that are doing it in a semi-competitive way. Because when it comes to iRacing, I don't want to replicate that with the Assetto Corsa. That is its own thing. That is a very serious form of online racing that has its purpose and it has its place, but it is not nearly as fun and lighthearted as I want this to be. So I want that to be one of the keys here. Hello, understeer again. That I get across is that what I'm trying to create here is a for fun and entertainment kind of series rather than a serious racing endeavor like, you know, our current Formula Renault Sadness Simulator series has become. So I'm thinking the format will probably be 2 to 3 races per week, but that will all happen in one recording session or one day. So probably more like 2, because you gotta get everyone together, give them a little practice time, and then a qualifying session and a race. But with the... I can see why the guardrail's all knocked down right there. But with the mindset of having it be a length that is appropriate for a Let's Play. So we're talking, I would say, ouch, sub 45 minutes. So we're probably talking a 25 to 35 minute race, a short little qualifying session, and just a little bit of practice in there just to make sure everybody is good to go for everything. And then for commentary or not, we'd probably all be in a Discord channel. Wow, that is a low 6th gear. In a Discord channel, but with push to talk on, because how I would like it to work... Ouch. This car, I want to talk about this track a little bit later. Let's wait for that. So everybody would be in the Discord channel, push to talk, so you could do your own commentary, like I do. Kind of just talking amongst yourselves, or just kind of talking about the race and stuff like that. But then if you want to interact with people, you can, and everybody could interact with each other, but just with a general understanding of, you know, don't constantly be on the quote-unquote radio talking to everybody, because everybody's going to be doing their own little thing too. But I can see that being interesting as people are racing each other. Which brings up another little caveat, is that there is, amongst our initial group that I've seen, a huge spread of experience. So it could be the case that there's a group that races up front. Could be somebody, like we have in Dirt Rally, we have Maestro, who just goes out and beats everybody by 30 seconds every week. That could very well be the case here. It's all going to be experimental. We're going to have to kind of play this by ear. And I would say it might take us a few seasons to really make it work. This turn and me, we don't get along. We don't get along at all. Excuse me, just Mustanging it up here. Sudden change of scenery. Now we're at the Sand Fort. But let's continue the discussion. So let's consider this, me just throwing the idea out there to see if it sticks. I don't know if maybe everyone's going to be as excited about the idea as I am in my head. That is a problem that I usually have, is that I get super excited about an idea, and then it turns out that nobody actually thought it was cool. So I'm just kind of, easy, running the idea by everybody here to see if there's any concerns, see if there is actually interest in it. This track seems a lot different in Assetto Corsa than it does iRacing. Could just be the visuals. I would like to know, yeah, if you have any ideas for it, if you have suggestions, or if you're just excited about it or not. That's why this video is in existence, because I just want to get your feelings on the subject. Something I've put a lot of thought into and am very excited about, but I also realize that it's also largely ambitious. and it could all just, you know, completely crumble within a few races, because if the racing is not fun and it's not enjoyable for everybody, then it's not going to work. So I am leaning on Assetto Corsa a little hard right here to hope that the competition's good, to hope that the net code's good enough, to hope that the server, the dedicated server stuff is good enough. I have done quite a bit of testing, even with the automation guys who are New Zealand, and we were able to race pretty, you know, competitively and not have too many issues. So we'll hope that that works out. I will be limiting the entries. How did I just say limiting there? Limiting? I will be limiting the entries down to like 15 to 20 people. Which, that turn, I hated that turn in the Renault, I hate it here too. Which I don't think will be too big of an issue, because getting everybody together at a particular time slot, never an easy thing to do. So we may even struggle to get up to 15 people. Who knows? Who knows? It's all a big unknown. So that's all that I kind of want to go over with that. I also want to take a moment here and just give a overall state of Assetto Corsa update. So like I mentioned, there is this new update out with the new cars in it that were free. That's a nice thing. Free cars are good. And the free-ish track. Or free track-ish. It's, I would say the tire model doesn't feel too terribly different to me. Some people are saying that the way the tires come up to temperature is much better. I'm doing a little bit too much just derping around to really notice. If I was in a more competitive environment, I might notice these things. Maybe not. We'll of course be starting with much slower vehicles than this for league purposes or you know, online racing purposes. In which case we might notice some of those things a little bit more. But pretty much instantly, I get right back into this game and it just feels right. Feels very fluid and very natural. So that's still encouraging. So I don't think they've ruined anything. So that's a good state for that. Like I mentioned though, they are pushing a console release. It keeps getting pushed back. I don't know how well it's gonna do. I really don't. I just don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough meat next to the potatoes here. There's not enough content. I don't know how they're going to respond to that. I'm sorry to refer to console players as theys, but when you compare this to Forza on a controller experience, Forza's probably a better game. If you compare this to Forza on a steering wheel, you know, level, this is obviously a far superior driving simulator. Like there's no doubts about it. This sim can give you real world like driving tips. Forza, it's questionable. You know, you might learn track layouts and stuff like that, but you're not gonna pick up much. So it's certainly great to see a real driving simulator make its way to the consoles. Just not sure it's gonna do too well. They've gotta add a pretty significant amount of content, and they need to work on the AI a bunch, and just the overall, the way the game plays through. It's not too great yet. I suppose the online system would help. You know, if you have a lot more players on the console versions than we seem to have on this PC version, that could help. That could certainly help. But I don't, at this point, think it's going to do too well. All we can do is hope. Dirt Rally has done pretty well with its console release, but they pretty much just direct ported it over. It's a shame they didn't make it crossplay, but I guess that is what it is. But I think that game does well because it has enough. There's enough there to do, and it's very obvious what to do. I've never felt it's very obvious what it is you do here in Assetto Corsa. There's the special events and the careers, but you do about 3 of them, and it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over. This turn again. On the flip side of that, it's kind of how I always felt about Gran Turismo. In the basically everything after 4, There's just, rehash of the same exact challenges over and over. So who knows? What do I know? I don't obviously know the console market very well at all. Okay then. And if we take the Corvette C7 Stingray out for a little drive here on the Black Cat County track, I said I wanted to give a word about these, and it's basically what I expected. It is maybe a little disappointing. I thought maybe they would make it so that the tracks were a little bit more like just railroads connected. Instead, what they've done is the Need for Speed style track, where, oh look at these 4-lane roads that happen to be set up in road course turns with guardrails and big signs everywhere and stuff like that, and no connecting roads. It's the pure fiction style of fictional track. I really think what the game could use is some fictional tracks that, that don't cost them much to make, but are at least based in reality, like have real world attributes, stuff like that. This doesn't really seem to have that. It's definitely just pure fiction. Not to say there's no fun to be had, just not exactly what I was hoping it would be. The other kind of big news that came out with this update is that the next DLC is something that I find actually exciting. It is a Japanese car pack and has some pretty cool, Japanese cars in it, including the ND Miata. So we will have an actual version of a Miata in the game. I really enjoyed the... Hey, there it is actually. No, that's Scion, isn't it? No, that's hard to tell on the billboard, but I think that was Andy. The Miata mod was one of my favorite parts of Assetto Corsa, and I thought that was a really well done mod. So it'd be cool to have the new one to A, compare to, and just have it to drive. And some other old school ones. I think the old A86 is in there. The FDRX7. Lots of interesting, typical. If you were going to say the words or the term JDM, it's all of the cars you would probably just kind of think of. So, Mark IV Supra, stuff like that. But it's an interesting addition, and I think adds a good chunk of cars that are in that mid-speed range that we could use some more of. So that's a good thing. So yeah, I didn't really have anything to do in the game today, just other than driving around checking out the new stuff. I think we've pretty much accomplished that at this point. I've given you my ideas for the future of Assetto Corsa. I am curious to see what you have to say about that. And with any luck, hopefully this is the last time that I have to make a video on Assetto Corsa where I don't have anything to do and just have to talk about the game. So I really hope the next time you see us in Assetto Corsa, we got a group of people together, we're racing and having a ball. Thanks everybody for watching, thanks for the support of Assetto Corsa. The first episodes of the career mode that I did here are still some of the most viewed videos that I have. It's a shame that didn't end up working out. But yeah, I am just as enthusiastic about this game as everybody else. I just hope that we can find a point for it.